Hello everybody and welcome to Full Stack JavaScript. So I hope you guys are excited to learn some awesome things on and go through building the real world examples using JavaScript because that's what we are about to set off to do. So the format of this course is going to be a little bit different than the courses that present on YouTube. And the main reason is because, well, I guess there are a few reasons. So one of them would be your learn best by doing. And a lot of time there is no bridge between the gap of I know the syntax of the language, but I don't know how to do really weird things. And so where you learn best by doing, I figured that together we will go through some examples. It does get pretty in depth around halfway through the course. So we are going to be building three applications using JavaScript. The first one is going to be a calculator, and in that project basically we just go over the basic of what React is. So we learn how to create React components and work within the React cycle and work within the React lifecycle as well. Now after that we move on to actually some of the full stack aspects of JavaScript where we create API and host it, and then we kind of bring it back to the React as well. So we can get a good example of how a React application and the REST API written in the JavaScript that can communicate with others. So how you can use those things to build a feature-rich application. I guess we will build a blog where and then the third application introduces a newer technology. However, because it's new, it's newer than JavaScript itself and lot of other technologies that we are gonna be using, which is WebSockets. So traditionally, when you have client-side application, for instance, a React application that communicates with an API, it's a kind of a ping pong request. You send a request and you get a response, and that's all there is to it. It's kind of like for one. So with the WebSockets you can actually keep clients connected on the server side, and you can send data to the client whenever it's deemed necessary. And so to the demonstrate that capability, we are going to be a building a chat application where you can create a user account. You can search for other user and add them and then message back and forth with him, and so that's gonna be a pretty fun as well. So first off, what is JavaScript? To put it very simply, it's interpreted programming language that's run on the client side. So when you write JavaScript on a website, the server that the website is hosting on has nothing to do with executing that JavaScript. JavaScript code is sent to the browser of the user and interpreted on their machine. So there's different JavaScript rendering engine used in, for instance, Chrome and the Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge, etc. So all browsers have a slightly different interpretation. All generally work in the same, so but a lot of times you got some specific browser capabilities working in all browser is not always possible, and we're not actually gonna cover Internet Explorer at all in this course because nobody should be using Internet Explorer right now unless you have like work application that were coded for the Internet Explorer and they do not work for anything else. In that case, use it, but that beyond the scope of this course. So JavaScript was introduced in 1995. It's evolved quite a bit since its initial. I guess it originally did not have object-oriented programming capabilities, but nowadays you can easily create classes. We are gonna be covering that as well. So the version of JavaScript is called ECMAScript, which is right now ECMA 6, and that is what we are going to be covering in this course. So with this course we will after the capability of using the arrow function with the syntax, it's a lot cleaner, and I find so I generally default to write arrow function rather than the regular function for the most part. So to get most out of this course, You are gonna want to know how to use HTML, minimal amount of CSS, just so that we can make things not look absolutely horrendous, and basic understanding of JavaScript. We are going to take what you do know and we are going to extend it with real world application. You are going to learn how to use React Redux, gonna learn how to use loopback JavaScript, which is a REST API framework that we're gonna use, which is built on the top of Express. We are gonna learn how to install packages. We are gonna learn how to install packages through Node Package Manager, and note that it's basically the environment that we can use to run server-side application like React Hard Load Server, which is the way that we can run React. And when we make changes to the file, it will automatically load the page in a browser. So that is the end of the introductory part. I will cover the next session in the next video. So stay tuned and subscribe the channel Getsitement for more